What is up, y'all? It's your boy DJ Richie Sky back with another video, and I've been reading a lot of your comments from the previous videos, and a lot of you guys have questions about YouTube. And you know, a lot of you are afraid to start a YouTube channel, or maybe you started but you've kind of stumbled along the way and you're trying to figure out what really should work for you, what will work for you. And as much as I can also tell you to look around at the landscape of people who are talking about things that you might want to talk about, the best advice that I could give you, if I had to start over today, this is what I would do to find success on YouTube. And what I mean by success may be very different from what you are thinking that success looks like on YouTube today. So let's dive into exactly what I'm talking about. I often think about this a lot, especially lately. You know, I work in a space of news, right? So the topics that I'm talking about are trending topics within the world of reality television. That's my focus on my main YouTube channel. But this YouTube channel, which is quickly becoming something that I'm a lot more serious about, is actually focused on what I would rather be talking about. So that is why I am investing so much time in this space right now, because of the value that I'm able to provide from the lessons that I've learned from that YouTube channel. So if I had to start all over today, what would I do as a new YouTuber? Well, I am so happy that this channel is really growing from its infancy. And what I mean by that is you get to follow this process along with me as I grow this YouTube channel, so that you can actually see it for yourself in action, the steps that I'm taking, moments where I might need to course correct, you know, all of the things that I would advise a coaching student or a coaching client to do, right? And because I have coached people on YouTube, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in another video. But really, I want to tell you guys now what I would do differently if I were to start over today, like starting from scratch today. And I want to really first dive into the two types of content that you typically see on YouTube. And then I'm going to introduce a third that I actually think is probably the best, okay? So the first type of content that you are likely to see on YouTube is news content, right? News content or trending content is content that is based on a news cycle, right? Current events, hot topics, you know, I have done all of that. On my YouTube channel, I've done that in the world of news, working for a morning show, you know, hot topics for MSNBC, as well as Fox 5 here in DC, and other shows. So for me, I understand the world of news. That's what I studied in college, right? But the downside of working in the trending topic space is that it is a constant churn. It's a constant grind. You're constantly having to keep up with whatever the news is or whatever the latest trending topic is in whatever specific industry that you're talking about. So for me, it would be reality TV, which is great. Listen, trending topics on YouTube is a great way to experience very fast growth, right? Because you're talking about topics that people are actually searching for. And if you recall my last video, I told you that you want to focus on something that you're passionate about, but also combine that with something that people are searching for, right? So having said that, you know, I want you to understand that it's a great way to explode your channel, but it's also a fast route to burnout. Because you're constantly working, you're constantly creating content about the news. And for me, again, like I said, it becomes a situation where you just want to break at times. Like when I go on vacation now, I want to vacate. I don't want to think about, you know, whatever the hot topic is. I want to actually spend my time on vacation in retreat mode from the work that I'm typically doing, right? or when family comes into town, or you have something come up in your life that you need to handle. You don't always have the time nor the capacity to continue with that churn, okay? So the next type of content is evergreen content. And evergreen to me is I read this the other day, it's enduring popularity, right? This is a topic that is general, it's universal, like it doesn't have to be trending. It's something that can withstand the test of time. It doesn't have an expiration date on it. It is really focused on something that you either want to learn, be entertained by, that's never going to lose there's never an expiration date on it really, because people could constantly be searching for it. This could be something from a historical context. This could be a how-to. This could be something funny, you know, in the comedy space. This could be horror stories. This could be product reviews. This could be whatever it is that does not fall under that sort of trending space, right? So for me, if I were to start all over again, I would focus on content that is evergreen so that I'm not constantly in this churn. And evergreen content, while it could take off slowly, it has the maximum capacity of growing over time, more so than something that is trending right now, okay? So I want you guys to understand the difference between the two, and I hope that you do. So the third concept that I'm going to introduce to you is trending evergreen. I know it sounds a little bit conflicting to what I just said to you, but I want you to think about it like this. I want you to look around in the space that you want to actually be in on YouTube, right? What if that is you are a tarot card reader? What if that means that you are a hairstylist? What if that means that you're an author? You know, what if that means that you are a stay-at-home mom with a new baby? You know, what if that means that you want to talk about training your dog? You know, because these are all things that people come onto YouTube and they're searching for. Like, what should a new mom do? You know, how should a new mom position their baby when it's time for bed, right? So those are just some examples. So what you would then do is you would then take that research that you've already done. You said, okay, who's talking about what I'm talking about in my space, in my industry? Because you do want to do a little bit of due diligence and do some research. Then you want to ask, what are the hot topics in that industry right now? Okay? What's popping off in the YouTube space that people who are talking about what I'm talking about are finding success with? What videos are going viral at the moment in my specific area of expertise? You want to look at that. And then you want to see what's trending right now, because sometimes there are things that pop up in the news or become relevant culturally that are in the wheelhouse or the space of the topic that you're interested in. And so then you want to pivot and you want to maybe add in some content that is trending within that space. So now you have the perfect mix of content that is evergreen, how-to, it's enduring the test of time. It could be comedy, funny, edutainment, any of the above. But then you also want to add in content that is popping right now, okay? So you want to kind of take the best of both worlds and incorporate them into your channel. So for instance, what might I talk about today on this channel that's trending in the news? I could talk about the best use of AI for coming up with YouTube titles or thumbnails. Easy. Does that make sense? AI is very popular right now. What I'm talking about right now is currently how to succeed on YouTube. So I'm taking a general topic that is evergreen and I'm taking an aspect of that topic that is trending and I'm combining the two, and that becomes one of my videos. There are a lot of people that use AI to come up with video topics, to script their videos. I'm more of a free-flowing type of person. I'm a writer by trade, like it's ingrained in me, and I'm a creative at heart. So for me, I don't necessarily rely on AI as much for creative elements, but I do think that there is some benefit to using it when you're trying to think of topics, when you're trying to come up with content that could be relevant at the moment. I think there's a great use for it out there at this point. But for me, I also think that there's something to be said for the human element of how another human being did this, that, or the third, how they processed it, because that tells me then that I can do it too, right? So there's a relatability that comes along with being a human being and then doing and talking and positioning yourself as the expert because you've already done it. And now people who come into contact with your content can say, oh wow, she did it, he did it, I can do it too, right? Or I love the way they do those skits because it's hilarious. It could be any number of things. I like the way this author teaches me how to write books and publish. There's something about that person's personality that keeps you coming back, right? Because as we'll talk about more within this space of creating content and being on YouTube, certain people just have personality, right? Certain people just have that thing. Certain people, like me, are trained to do news and to be on camera and to speak. And there may be a little bit of aspect of my personality that you fall in love with as well, because, I mean, to be honest with you, I can be a little off the hook. I can be a little crazy. You know what I'm saying? I can be a little, you know, when I'm in my zone and I'm really talking, I can really give it to you. It just depends on my mood, right? So some of those things come naturally to people and some of those things can be taught to people. But I think what's probably the most valuable is that you feel passionately about whatever it is that you're talking about, right? So let's walk it all back and wrap it up with a nice little bow for you. If I were to start all over again, I would pick a topic that I am an expert in or that my business was based in. And then I would develop content that is evergreen, that is never gonna go out of style, that is timeless about the topic that I wanna discuss. Then I would also incorporate what I would call trending evergreen because it relates to an aspect of my business or my topic that just may happen to be breaking in the viral spaces right now, right? So taking those different types of content and putting them together, I think is really the key. And then also making sure that you have the passion or the expertise to endure the content that you will have to make over time. And with that all wrapped up in a nice little bow, I think it becomes a lot easier for you to determine what types of content you should be making. So I hope that makes a lot of sense for you guys. If you want more content like this, I can definitely give it to you. I enjoy teaching, I enjoy coaching, I enjoy giving you guys all of the knowledge that I've gained over the past, 8 years of being on YouTube. I started at AfterBuzz TV in the YouTube space, and then I moved and transitioned into the world of news, which I've kind of always been in the news world in some degree, you know, whether it was TV or radio, you know, I've always been in that space. But I think with YouTube, it's probably the longest running consistent space that I've been in. And I think that in terms of taking those lessons learned, I want to now be able to offer them to you because I feel like there's value in what you can create. And I always think about it like this, and I want you to think on this idea as you leave this video. Every day that you don't create a video is a day that someone in your potential audience is missing out on the value that you can provide. When you think about your content from that perspective, everything will change. I promise you, everything will change, because then your content becomes your mission. And there is nothing like working from the position of having a mission and then the vision to follow it through with action. So that is my thoughts on what I would do differently if I ever had to start over in this space, and how I would do it and develop and grow my channel. And I'm, again, super happy that you guys get to see this channel in its infancy so you can watch it grow and know that you can do the same thing. All right, so with that being said, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Hit that notification bell button so you will be alert whenever new content drops. We're gonna do some more travel stuff on this channel because I love travel. I'm gonna take all of the things that I love and enjoy and just incorporate them here, and whatever flies, flies. All right, so with that being said, I will catch you in the next video.